YouTube. This is a video about like the behind the scenes of me hunting down new quotes for my coloring in book series. And I've shared it to Patreon a year ago. If you want to see what's going on there in the past year, definitely check it out. It's pretty interesting in my opinion. So yeah, I decided my printer wasn't really taking my coloring in book series quite seriously, so I go for a hunt. The editing on this is incredibly choppy and like at the beginning is quite zoomed in, so sorry about our new interpersonal relationship there. Just because I didn't know that I was going to start documenting the behind the scenes of work. And I just pulled them off my Instagram stories. So okay, so just got out of the printer and she gave me some quotes for redoing the covers on the books, and I'm thinking I might pass, but we'll see. I don't know. Okay, so I got my quotes. It's past the 23rd, I think. Is it? Yeah, let's just say it's past the 23rd, so I've missed the deadline. But okay, let's see, because alright, so I've just learned that my old printer didn't really know what he was doing because he glued on the paper, like this cover is meant to look like this. And okay, so while you're coloring it in, it starts to peel off like that, and then it eventually turns out like this. So I have about 200 books with these covers, and I was like, okay, I want to know how much it's going to cost me to replace all the covers. Plus, my old printer put the wrong cover on my books. Like, he put the wrong edition cover on this, and I can see he's not very invested. Anyway, so I got a quote for moving on to a different printer, and then I got a quote for replacing all the covers of these. So I'm gonna put out my calculator. Okay, so far, all of them, 200, has roughly cost me about 2,500, let's say, roughly. And then there's this extra cost of changing the covers, which is 1,000. So we're gonna change that to 3,500. If I have roughly 200 times the cost, $25, 5,000. Take away 3,500. I'll only be making a $1,500 profit. I don't think I can make a profit that fast, so I'm actually down $1,000 if I do it. I'm not sure about this. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have them like a special edition. You guys might just have to glue the covers back on for now. So I think it would be foolish of me to just go with my new quote and not check who's around. So it's on my to-do list to see who's around. Okay, so I just finished a meeting with someone who came by to show me some samples of what their printers can do. And here, actually, advertising. So they gave me like a bag of all these samples to show me like what they can do, and I reckon like that's good, because it's like I did get a quote from someone and they just kind of flobbed it off, because I was like, I really need to know what the covers are made of, like how the covers are made, because that's the problem I'm having right now. And they didn't really answer it, and I think I'm looking more for like trust in the company as opposed to price. So, but also price is important because I have to pass it on to you guys. So in the running, there's probably two printers that I'm taking seriously because they're taking my quote seriously. So I'm sending one of them. I'm just gonna schedule the email. So I'm sending one of them past quotes that I've had, and I would like to beat that quote. So we'll see. Okay, printer update. So last week I made plans for the printer to meet at 2 p.m. and then I said out loud that like I'm bad with time, so I'm going to tell myself 1:30. And then he sends me an email saying 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday, and I was like, fuck, I'm confused. So I was like, whatever, we stick to the time. So I turn up at 2:10 because I'm bad with time, and I was just really confused about his 1:30. So I was like, whatever. I turn up and then I ring the buzzer and I was like, hi, I'm here. And he goes, he like sounds really surprised. He's like, what the fuck? So he's like, oh, what? And I think he's checking his emails because just something weird about this conversation. And he's like, no, we said 1:30 and you weren't here and you didn't tell me that you were on the way. And I'm kind of like, This bothers me. It really bothers me when people think that I have to reconfirm 50 times. So I was like, I just kind of ignored it. I was like, yep, well, I'm here. And he goes, well, I'm not here. And I was like, what the fuck kind of buzzer is this? Just emphasizing his school pickup. He's like, oh, I got to do the school pickup. It's an emergency. It's 2 p.m., by the way. School doesn't finish for another hour and a half. So it's kind of like, sus. You've mentioned the school pickup more than you've mentioned your job. So I spent another half an hour going home, and I was kind of like, that was a fucking waste of time. And if you're in your Saturn return, you don't have time for time wasters like this. So I got home and I was like, I'm not gonna go with him. His mind is not on his work. So I get a message this morning, and he's like, oh, I'd love to reschedule. And I'm here like, what? So you can fucking waste another hour of my time? No. I got a quote back. I think this is the last quote I'm going to look for because I've decided that I trust my printer. So, yeah. So this is the last quote back. And I might end this journey on a... Okay, so it's been like 6 weeks since the quotes, but like I know that because some guy just on the phone, he rang me and he quoted 6 weeks. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, so I've done my hunting. I'm happy with the company that I was going to switch to anyway. And this guy rang because they sent a few emails and I've been ignoring them because they look generic. And he was like, hey, I want to know, like, I want to follow up on the quote. And I was like, oh, it's actually 3 times the cost of the other ones. And I'm not sure about your mounting, so no. And he's like, well, can I see the quotes? Because I want to match them. And I was like, oh, okay. They are not out of the running just yet. There's a typo in the end, doesn't my certificates. My keyboard is just incredibly erratic, so that's why there's typos. Anyway, so I haven't done the print run yet because I was like doing the 2023 editions, and then by the time I'd done them, I was like, oh, it's nearly 2024, so I'll just do the 2 together because sales aren't that high to be able to do like, I figure I might as well just do the 2 print runs in one. So it's not done yet. But definitely check out the Colouring In book series if you feel like doing that. If you enjoyed the behind the scenes, let me know somehow. That'd be totally awesome.